Welcome guys, as announced before, I have another post-commentary video where I played against Sjow on ladder. This is from the third day of TGT, so I suspect both decks to be kinda experimental. Mine definitely was. You can see it on the right. I play a token Druid list where I wanted to try out some new Druid cards like the Living Roots, like the Darnassus Aspirant and like the Druid of the Saber. And ran into Sjow's Warrior, which I don't know what it is yet. The list is still like, there are some questionable choices, especially because it likes removal like a Big Game Hunter or something. One Force of Nature might also be a point that might not be enough in there, but overall I wanted to try out a few new cards and this seemed like a good way to start. And now let's hop right into the game. Unfortunately, I was too late with my mulligans, but I kept an Innervate and tossed back the other two cards when I remembered correctly. Out of these cards, they don't look great to start against the Warrior, which I don't know the origin of right now. So the Piloted Shredder makes the whole thing a little bit more interesting, and there are a few things to think about right now. One of which is obviously, like always in Druid, mana curve. But as it stands, my next two turns might be just hero powering. And I feel like playing the Piloted Shredder at this very moment is a good thing if he doesn't have Fiery War Axe. And even if he has Fiery War Axe and I get like a 2-2 out of it, my Innervate Shredder play will still deal like 8 damage. 4 from the Shredder and then 2 from my attack and 2 from the second Fiery War Axe attack. So I get like get rid of both charges of the Fiery War Axe and deal 8 damage. And if he doesn't have an answer like an immediate weapon right now, the play gets a lot better, of course. I also have the Wrath and the Keeper to answer card draw stuff like an Acolyte. So I feel like with this hand I'm kinda like, since this is a little bit more aggressive Druid deck than the usual midrange list is, I feel like I'm kinda inclined to do the Innervate Keeper Shredder play here. Just to like keep some pressure going. Especially because it's Sjow and I kinda suspect him to play Control Warrior, but even against Patron Warrior you basically have to put pressure on the whole time. Because otherwise if you fall behind and your opponent is able to stabilize, he'll just flood the board and you just leave the game. It starts quite well with a Millhouse Mana Storm from this, so he cannot even kill it with his weapon alone, and it deals 4 damage instead of the 2 that I expected from the Shredder drop, if he has the Fire War Axe. So the Innervate Shredder play did already like 8 damage, plus my 1 hero power. The problem with this is I still don't have something to play right now. And there is a Taskmaster. I kind of hoped you would use an Execute or something, but the Taskmaster also puts on something on the board for him, which is not optimal for me, especially given the cards that I have in hand right now. So the next turns will probably not be too helpful overall, or too powerful. That's why, like, my options right now is to swipe this, which is obviously nonsense because I have the Wrath. So I would rather Wrath it and use Hero Power Face to put him at 16. But given that he is at 17 right now and I have a Savage Draw, I kind of want to put on the pressure, put more stuff on the board, and if he has Death Spite he will take like another 2 from this and then it's still kinda in combo range. So I decide to go with the Keeper of the Grove, even though I might need a Silence later on against something like a Sylvanas, or maybe against an Acolyte, but at least I could like snipe the Acolyte away with one of my spells. So I go for this, and at the moment it seems like I won't have too many great turns until turn 7, where I can then play the Ancient of Lore, refill my hand, and get something going again. So he wants to con out a 5-drop, which I suspect is Belcher, and he plays Stalag for some reason. So it's kind of good that I developed my board, because I can simply swipe this away now. Do 1 damage to him, do another 2 damage to him, put him into combo range, and now I have the combo in my hand, which is also quite nice. And I have this board, and it still like does things on the board. It still attacks. So I think the decision to snipe away the Taskmaster was the right one. So now we have some things here, and I don't have anything to do this turn, basically. I could use like the Force of Nature, but of course I want to save my combo for turn 9. So my next turn will be Ancient of Lore. So I should try to develop all the cards that I can right now. So I'm going for the Power of the Wild play to summon a Panther, and we'll probably end up using Wrath and Hero Power for the Armorsmith, because I don't want him to give, like, first of all, I'm still not sure about the deck, but I suspect it to be Control Warrior, and second, I don't want it to give him like a huge armor turn with doing something like Acolyte, second Armorsmith Whirlwind or something, where he gets a bunch of armor and a card and stuff that puts him out of the range. And for turn 6, I kind of suspect him to play either Sylvanas or Shield Maiden, in which case both minions are not too bad. I can simply trade both guys into a Sylvanas, for example, and play the Ancient of Lore. Or against the Shield Maiden, I can use both minions to chip away his armor again that he gained from the Shield Maiden and develop the Ancient of Lore. So that's the reasoning behind the play that I'm probably going to make. Fits the mana curve also quite well. Also, by not trading with the Keeper, I still keep this out of execute range in case he gets like really Aspirant or something. Fortunately, I have to give him the 2 armor, but that's okay. So let's see what Sjow follows it up with. Also a little bit annoying would probably be a Sludge Belcher, but probably just stay around. But it's Shield Maiden like suspected. And the play I was going with was Ancient of Lore. The question is, does the Living Roots change anything? And it might, because I could trade like the Panther and the Living Roots into that. But as I said in the beginning, I want to put up pressure like the whole time. That's why I go face here. Keep it into combo range, because I can do combo in 2 turns. And I also got the Druid of the Saber, which I can make like a Murloc, what's it called, a Blue Gold Warrior. So if he just gets rid of something on the board, let's say the Ancient of Lore, then I have the Panther and the Keeper of the Grove, which is 5 damage. Druid of the Saber 7, plus the Savage Draw is another 8, which is 15, plus Hero Power is 16. So if he develops something like a Dr. Boom, or like anything basically that doesn't let him armor up, that doesn't taunt or doesn't heal, like a shield block or something, I can win the game the very next turn. That's why I just go face and force him to have the trades and to have the answers to my cards. If he has a second Shield Maiden, he'll probably trade into the Ancient of Lore, and the situation kind of becomes the same, but I can develop the Druid of the Saber by stealthing it, and then play combo for even 5 additional damage to deal like 19 damage. But he goes with a Dr. Boom, and he even goes greedy and kills the Panther, which from my explanations the turn before means that I have lethal. With the Druid of the Saber, which is a 9 plus an additional 8 plus an additional 1 from the hero power, so I could deal like 18 damage here. Exactly. So that's it. This was our TGT experimental deck game of mine against Sjow. And that's about it. Hope you enjoyed the post commentary. As always, feel free to leave me comments about that, and I'll see you around next time. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.